Well, finally, the windows are here, guys. I am like just so literally excited, just ecstatic. For those of you that have been following along with this series, three of my metal windows were missing, and I had them 3D scanned and 3D printed. And it was took over 6 months, but here they are. And I right now I'm just basically putting some undercoating. I'm just using black automotive, which is a flat paint. It's the same thing as using any old undercoating, and I'm just going to give them a quick spray before I paint them chocolate brown, which is the original color that this house would have been done in. So I would have liked to have done them green, but that wouldn't have been historically accurate. So I'm trying to keep it as accurate as possible. You can see here that I've sprayed them brown. That's just the first coat. It's going to take a second coat. And yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it's growing on me. But yeah, and once they're painted, like really, you're hard pressed to tell which ones are the metal ones and which ones are the 3D printed one. These are the original blinds that actually were in the windows, and I've actually glued them on. And I cut the glass. As you can see, it's not an exact perfect glass cut, but yeah, that looks pretty good. Once it's all together, it'll look just excellent. So I've also used this putty, which is glazing compound, which you would use to glaze windows in a real house. So I squished some of that in to actually help hold the glass in. And these are the original screws that held that larger window in. And I'm going to reinstall them, and then I'll go outside and spray some of the spray paint with into a little container, and then repaint them. You can see here they look pretty weird with the brown. So you can see with the metal windows, that's the glazing that I used. With the 3D printed window, the glass just popped in. There's no need for glazing. And again, here's a reproduction of the original blinds, and you can see later when I show you a picture of the finished house, the blinds are actually still, the original ones are in the top window of the house, and these are an exact match. The lovely Michael Morse actually sent me a copy, a PDF of these windows, and she was gracious enough to share this with me to make the restoration exactly correct. And couldn't be more grateful. And once those little shades are in, I think it really does add to the authenticity. I mean, they look really beautiful. Once you see these on, it's really, really hard for you to distinguish which are the genuine metal window and which three are the 3D printed ones. I've yet to find the exact lace that I want to use for the bottom half of the window. I'm going to have to do a little bit of shopping to find some antique lace. And of course, my hinges, my original hinges, were no longer usable. Not only were they rusty, but one of them was actually broken, so I had to go out and purchase new brass hinges. And you can see here my husband's using my hand pin drill, and he's just pre-drilling the little holes for it so that it can be accurately screwed together. I actually also glued them down with crazy glue before I started drilling them, and you can see here the window is mounted. And the house is outside today because unfortunately the roof of this house is a little bit warped. But I mean, she's over 100 years old, so that's no surprise. But when you open and close the door, it's really rubbing, and it's not good. So I'm going to have to sand the top of the front door as well as the top of the peak of the house. I guess it would be the ceiling. You can see here it's kind of warped. So I'm just going to have to do a little bit of sanding to make sure that everything fits. So you can see close up, see how close that is right there on the left and how much it's out. Yeah, so that's what it's got to look like. And see there, it's so tight. So I'm going to have to sand that down just a little bit in order for it to work smoothly. So I've got it laying on its side, and I sanded it down. And I'm just getting my husband to open and close it so you can see that now, since I've sanded it, it's no longer binding. And that's absolutely perfect. But, of course, I'm going to have to repaint. And look at all the sawdust inside the poor old girl. But it's worth it because I really, really want to make sure that it's as historically correct as possible. Everything from the wallpapers to the blinds to the brickwork on the sides of my house, the paper that was used for the shingles on the roof of the house, everything is accurate as possible. So, yeah, I mean, if I were to restore again, I think I would have left the wallpapering till dead last. I was really afraid to go into this with the vacuum cleaner. I was really afraid that I was going to destroy some of the work that I've done to it, but fortunately my wallpaper stuck down pretty good, so didn't have to worry about that. So yeah, so that's all paper that would have been made by Lines Company and used at the time that this house was originally produced. So it is era correct replication paper that I use. So yeah, I couldn't tell you, or I cannot tell you how much I absolutely love this dollhouse, and I can't wait to show you what it's going to look like once I start decorating the inside and putting all my little treasures inside. So just kind of cleaning up all the sawdust before I drag her back in the house, and hopefully this will be the last time she'll be outside in the sunshine. Oh, but first, of course, I've got to paint. So I'm just touching up the paint where I had to sand stuff off. So I had to sand it there at the top of the roof, and then I also sanded the top of the door. So, and thankfully I've got enough of this antique white paint to be able to touch this up. And it's been probably a good 7 months since I originally painted it. So it's a good thing that I kept the little tiny minute amount that was left over. And you can see here I had to repaint the front of the door, and there's clouds outside, so now I'm going to have to drag it in with wet paint and let it dry inside the house, because Lord knows I don't want the rain to come down and destroy all the paper that I've spent so much time putting together. So that's what it looks like on my picnic table. And you can see here in Alberta, we're starting to get a little bit of green lawn. We've been without snow for about 10 days. So fingers crossed we stay without snow. And so I've got her inside, and that's what it looks like. Oh, I'm just so thrilled. Like, I am just so absolutely thrilled with this house. So now I'm going to turn it over and let you hear what Kevin's been working on.
Good morning, Lines lovers. Dollhouse Fixer here. I've been off the air for some weeks, but I thought I might give you a bit of a catch up on this DH31. So during the last couple of weeks, on and off, I've made a complete new base for this, plus a new roof, both woodworm riddled, as is often the case with these houses, antique houses. So this morning I intend to try and reconstruct the balustrading. I decided to completely and utterly dismantle the balustrading on this one so as I could get the detail back into it. It's difficult to do when it's complete, but you risk breaking them by taking them out, and actually I did break a couple, so they were very thin. I think that this doll's house has been in a fire at some point in its life, so they were thin in any case, but we'll see how this goes. So far so good. So what I've done here is glued all the better balustrading across the front where I can. I've also faced all the good sides out, so that's what you'll see on the finished article, and you'll see that the broken bits are not in yet. So what I thought I would do is leave all the top unglued and make sure that I had a dry run with the glue setting at the bottom, so as all of the holes fit back where they should do, because it's too late once they're glued. So what I will do is all the broken bits that correspond, there's only 3 of the spindles got broke, I will glue those into the top and let those set, and then basically join them in the middle once everything's set. So I'll start sanding and gluing some of the rest of it while that sets now. So that's all the balustrading back together, and you can see now that all the detailing is showing out the way it should do without it being painted over and all blending into one. So all of the little carpentry details are back on now. I've just got some more gluing to do on the front door, and then it'll be a matter of filling and sanding, getting ready for paint. So it's all coming together very nicely. Probably further ahead this week than what I thought I would be, because it was quite a project. But all in all, it's moving in the right directions, and I think basically we've got a doll's house again. So yeah, we'll come back when we've done a bit of painting and filling, and see how it goes then. I do now need to stick down some of the roof paper. Obviously it's been restored now for some months before the winter, and I do want to probably lacquer this paper. It's something I didn't do originally, but I need to do it for the 31 that I'm doing, which has got the same kind of thing, and it will be a good start to experiment, and I'll probably go back over the houses and do that if it works out okay, which should do. You know, I'd forgotten how nice this house was. As I say, I haven't visited it now for 3 or 4 months, and my goodness, I really do like it, and it's certainly a major part of my own collection. I do tend to favour the ones I've restored.
The major differences between this house and the house that I restored, although they're both DH37s, is his had rough cast or stucco on the exterior, and it would have had wallpaper. Well, it did in fact have the original brick wallpaper on the front of his house under layers of paint.
So ladies and gentlemen, now that Lisa has finished the DH37, and mine's obviously been finished since last November, I think, it's now time that we concluded this this series of videos on this house. So I'm going to show you around my house, and then Lisa will then show you around hers, and we should make a good video from it. So I'm going to open the front door. So this is my version of it. I haven't actually looked at it for some months now, so I'll just put the dresser back there, which is very loosely put there. It doesn't originally belong with it, and that one was my version of it. So I believe the number 37, which is a G&J Lines house, dates from somewhere between 1913 and 1930 was the total run of the variations on the theme. This one's the smaller one of the two. They did do one with more windows on the right hand side. This particular one has got wallpaper on the bottom, and that wallpaper is original to this house. I was very fortunate that it was there, and I managed to get the horrible black paint off it and red paint that the whole house was painted in, and managed to save it and leave it the way it is. It's not perfect, but then the thing is obviously way over 100 years old, so you know, it's great to have it original. So the exercise has been obviously for me to restore this one here in the UK, and Lisa to restore her one which I sold her over in Canada, and we've done it with the total idea of seeing what we can both do and then compare the two, and you the viewers will be able to compare the two and see if you think we've both got it as close to original as possible, or whether you think improvements could have been made. There's actually been a couple more of these houses for sale in the UK here recently, which have sold. So there's a few of them about, but they do come in these different variations. But what I'm going to do now is hand it over to Lisa in Canada, and you can have a look at her version of it.
I'm going to begin by showing you the interior of mine. And as I said, I've used the lines papers that are era correct for this house. That plate rail that I put in is not era correct, but it makes me happy, and I'm never going to sell the house, so I'm very pleased to have it. Major differences between this house and the house that Kevin did up is my base is also black, whereas his base was green. I did it black because that was the original color underneath all of the paint. When I stripped it back, I think it might have looked a little nicer in green, but it is the way it is. I tried to do this as accurately as I possibly could, being sympathetic to the way it was when it was original. There's the original paper that would have been on the side. Of course, that's a reproduction. Kevin's has stucco on the sides of his. We believe that my house is the earlier of the two. I do have an original. The reason why I got scissors jammed in there is because I don't have my hook to close my house yet. Well, actually, I do have my hook because Kevin was kind enough to send one in an envelope to me all the way from England. So it's sitting there beside the front door of the house. It just hasn't been installed yet. I can't begin to tell you guys how much fun this was and what a wonderful time I had getting to know Kevin and his dear wife, and being able to work on this project with him. It's just been absolutely so much fun. It's so nice to meet someone that's so many miles apart in a completely different country, and be able to share our thoughts and ideas about a subject that we just really care a lot about. Thank you so much, Kevin, for agreeing to do this cross-Atlantic project. It's been a blast. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. It's free to do so, and it really does help my channel grow. Please hit the like button and leave comments behind, because that also helps my algorithm. And of course, I'll be doing some follow-up videos with this DH37 while I fill it up with all kinds of lovely goodies. So I can't wait to completely furnish it. As always, have the best day ever.